Hi everyone, welcome to After Class with Ballet for All,
a podcast by two passionate adult ballerinas about all things adult ballet related.
and some random thoughts in between.
We're so glad you're here.
So grab your water bottle
Or a cup of coffee.
and join us for a quick chat after class. So here we are, another week, another class, and again, Hannah dying, tired after group class, center class, point class.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wednesdays and Thursdays are always a little bit harder of a push for me after doing class on Monday and Tuesday. I usually feel pretty good. And then by Wednesday, I start to feel a little more tired. And by Thursday, I'm just like, just trying to get through it.
I can't imagine. Do you have something that we can share about class today? Yes.
Yeah, I think today one of the things that was really good that we talked about was stretching the actioning leg, bringing it back in to fifth position, just because I know you noticed today that I was kind of bending that leg and not pulling up enough on my standing side to be able to keep that working leg straight. And that was a really, really helpful thing for me.
Yeah.
So
It's really interesting how just that actioning leg being bent on the way in from any tandy or from any action that it's doing is connected to the point work and it's connected to your arabesque, right? So it's a question that it's very interesting how you and Maggie had the same question. Like you wrote me a few weeks ago and then Maggie's writing me like, I can see that I feel my leg is stretched, but my arabesque don't really show that my legs are stretching to the full potential. Why?
Yeah.
How do I fix that? And we just find out as soon as I saw you doing tandius and closing, and that actually leg is bending and it's not fully stretched. How do we fix your arabesque from looking not really extended to a really super elongated leg? Go back to basics. Go back to your tandius. What are you doing with your tandius? Pliés and tandius are the foundation and the base of all next future steps, right? So if anyone else is out there having that trouble, I don't see my legs fully extended. I feel them, but I can't see that elongation. Then go back to your tandius, fifth position, facing the bar, supporting legs super elongated, pulling up, both hips level up. And make sure that your leg is closing, really stretching. Engage those muscles on top of the knee. Pull them towards your hips. So it's exactly what you were saying. Like, I feel like locking my knees. Yeah, you lock the knees, but don't hyperextend them. So don't stretch knee pulling back. It's a stretching up towards the hip.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I find that that's one of the great things. Like you record our Zoom classes, and I think it's so valuable because one of the things I've noticed since I've been taking class with you and you send us the recordings after is that things can feel a certain way and then you see them and they look totally different. And so I think for me, that's a big one with stretching the leg in arabesque especially, is because I would swear that my leg is stretched and then you see the video and you're like, oh my gosh, is that what that actually looks like? And so it's so valuable to see yourself on video. There's something to me that's different even about video than the mirror. I don't know what it is. I think in the mirror, like you don't want to come out of the moment too much. You want to stay in it and stay dancing, especially if it's part of a choreography. But I think afterwards, being able to watch the video and be stopped, sitting down, really watching the video with full focus, and you see things totally different.
You are right on the moment. There you are actually looking. And I keep saying, use the videos for that visual feedback. So one thing is learning from looking at yourself at the mirror. Another thing is learning from the teacher. But again, we tend to not really demonstrate the right technique sometimes because we get used to like, oh, tombe ballet. We don't look at our arms, we don't look at our legs, we just doing the motion. And then as a teacher, which is a really bad habit, we sometimes oversee what we are actually showing you. So that's why it's so good you look back at yourself at the video and you find it from yourself doing it and you can like retrospectively go back and like, okay. So I was feeling way more stretched. I was feeling more elongated, but in actually not. There is a little bit more room for improvement.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny. I used to really struggle with watching our videos after class because it is kind of horrifying, and I think it kind of humbles you a little bit. But I think it's one of those things where now I don't have any problem watching them because I just have learned to have a little bit more grace and patience with myself. Whereas before I was like, oh my gosh, it would just send me into depression after watching the video. But
that's the other
now
thing.
It's like, okay.
But that's the other thing about the class is also going back and comparing yourself where you were and where you are at now. So it's seeing that progression of sometimes going back and being like, I'm not really working that hard as I think I'm doing. So come on, it's time to
yes, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, you look lazy. Like, I don't even look like I'm trying. Like, look alive, Hannah, come on. It's so funny.
It will save you so much time in the long run that just now realizing that you're like, okay, I just actually need to go back to that concept that we talked in the last class and be aware of my body, not just within the space, but being aware of what you're actually doing. I'm stretching legs, but am I using the right muscles to pull towards the hip and keep elongating up? That's the feeling.
Yeah. So much to think about. Always so much to think about in ballet.
Exactly. And I think that the most important part and the most exciting part of this podcast today, a part of technique, is getting to know
a really
you.
long intro.
Yeah, sorry for that, people. It's getting to know you. So now everyone knows Yelena. Everyone knows a little bit of Ballet for All, but who is Hannah? So can you tell us a little bit more about you, like your name? Well, I already spoiled that one. Give us a little bit more like a background on you, your age, where you live, and
Yeah, absolutely. So I am 35 years old, and I live in the Los Angeles area with my husband and our cat. And I've pretty much was born and raised in this area. I've lived in different places not too far away from here and then traveled, but LA has pretty much been my home my whole life. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know that you, although you're doing ballet now, and that's why we're doing this podcast, you actually start your dance career, let's say, or your dance
career
love
journey
to dance journey with salsa. So tell me a little bit more of how or why did you start dancing salsa, and was it even related to ballet or it was just apart from ballet? What was it like? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it was kind of random. I've always loved to dance. I think my mom loves to dance. I grew up in a household with my grandmother who was a piano player. And so there's music and classical music and just, loving to dance, loving to move. My mom has been in the fitness industry my whole life as a aerobics instructor. And so there was always movement in our house. And so I always enjoyed that. But salsa, it was kind of funny. I went to Peru after college for a few months to do kind of a internship. And while I was there, the friends that I made invited me to go to a salsa concert. And it's funny because it was actually a Cuban band, which you probably know, Charanga Habanera.
Yes, I do.
It was so fun. It was so fun. Like, it was all the instruments on stage, and the band was dancing. Everyone at the concert was dancing. And I was just like, I want to participate in this. This
Obviously.
is so fun. And so, And so my friends kind of showed me the basic step, and I loved it. I bought a bunch of salsa CDs while I was in Peru, and came home with them ready to learn. And
nice.
When I got home, I found a place to start taking lessons. And so once I got back to the LA area, I found a place once a week and kind of just jumped fully in, and never turned back. That was about 12 years ago, I think.
Oh, wow. That's pretty interesting. I love it. Well, I mean, apart from ballet, salsa is just the best dance ever.
It's the best. It's the best.
So
It's
much
so fun.
freedom
It's just
of
so fun.
movement and going
Yes.
around. That's pretty good.
Yes. It's very different from ballet, which is, I feel like it's like the two
It's
different
true.
parts of my personality. Yeah.
So that will then lead me to the next question. So how did you come along to ballet? Did you learn ballet because, well, you were kind of like over the top with salsa? Like you go to a certain level with salsa and you're like, yeah, let me go and try ballet? Or how did ballet happen in your life? How did this came to be part of you?
Yeah. So I started learning when I was a kid. I think I was about 12 or 13, and I can't even remember how or why, but I decided I wanted to try taking ballet classes. And so my mom found a local studio and I started going, and it was a really nice studio. It's kind of the most prestigious school in our town, and their RAD, certified. So they come and do the exams every year. And it was not the best experience, I will say that. I felt like, because I was older, which is so funny to think of 12 or 13 being older, but for the ballet world, it was older. And I kind of felt like there just wasn't going to be an investment in me or taking me seriously, because I had kind of missed my chance, so to speak, to be taken seriously at that age. And so I was kind of put in this class with like the really young kids, which nothing wrong with that, but it was kind of just more so the general feeling of like, you're too old. And so I did that for, I don't even know how long I was there for, maybe a year. And I love ballet, absolutely love ballet, fell in love with ballet, but did not love the studio experience. And kind of walked away from it for a while. And then as an adult, as I was dancing salsa and getting really into that, I was like, you know what, I should see if I can find an adult ballet class, just because it's such good, technique training and all the things. Like, it's just so great for everything. And I missed it. I wanted to see if I could jump in again. And luckily, being in the LA area, we are blessed with having an abundance of dance studios. So I was able to find an adult class on Saturday mornings. I started going to that, and it just completely redeemed my in-studio experience of ballet. I had the sweetest teacher. I still am in contact with her. And she just put so much love and energy and attention into us as adult dancers. And it was such a joyful and positive experience that I went to her class once a week for a while. And then it was during COVID that I really got serious about the obsession kicked in with ballet and taking YouTube classes and as many classes as I could. So, which I feel like a lot of adult ballet dancers that I meet now, it started during COVID.
Yeah.
And like being stuck at home and trying to find ways to stay in shape. So, yeah.
That's so cool. It's such a big experience. And I'm so glad that it actually just changed your mind about the ballet. Like, your first experience wasn't just the right experience. And I just can't imagine how sad it is. Like, oh, you're not going to be a professional dancer. You're already kind of past your age. So we're going to put it here in this class.
I know, I was like washed up as a 12-year-old. I'm like, it's so sad to think about it. It's like, I laugh, but I know that it happens to people, and it bums me out, because I think there's probably a lot of young people who could have come to fall in love with ballet. And even if they didn't go professional, it's like, can't it just be about enjoying ballet?
Just give them the chance. Come on. But I'm glad that you found your teacher and you did your adult classes. And this is awesome. And it's true. I can see that since COVID, there is like a big boom into the ballet adults community. Mm-hmm. And it's so great. Yeah. So something so bad, like such a bad experience with that COVID virus happening all over the world. But at least we can say that many of us took the good side out of it and tried to learn a new skill, being ballet, the hardest skill to learn in the world. But cheer ups to all of you there trying ballet. Oh my God, why would you choose to do that to yourself, people? Like, it hurts. Like, right now, my bodies are killing me right now just for wearing points again once. And I'm dying. I can't imagine you. Oh,
I know it is funny. It's like, why am I doing this thing to myself that's so difficult? And so it's funny. Even my mom a couple of times with point has been like, are you sure like you need to be doing this to yourself? And I'm like,
why?
yes, love the pain.
I love
the pain.
That's
So funny.
how do you feel? So now that you had experience first as a 12 years old and now as an adult, what are the physical limitations or the advantages of being learning ballet as an adult?
Yeah, I think there's both. I think the advantage is, I think in some ways you just have a different relationship with your body. I think as an adult, I try to focus more just on gratitude for what my body can do. And I think, the limitations are that it's harder. Everything is a little bit harder to come by. I think when you're an adult, it's harder to get flexible. It's harder to, all of it feels harder in some ways. But I do think that it's, if you can give yourself grace and you can focus on gratitude for the things that your body can do, I also think that your body can really surprise you, no matter your age, and that there's a lot that you can still achieve, and there's a lot of goals that you can hit. And I think even for me at a certain point, I would have thought, no, I'm too old to go on point. Like, it's just never going to happen. And during COVID, again, I think there was just something where I was like, no, why am I going to put that limitation on myself? And my body is strong, and I'm blessed to be healthy, and so
Sure.
let's do it. And so I think I just have to have extra grace for myself. I have had injuries. I threw my back out last year, as you know, and had to take some time off, and there's kind of those micro injuries.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm figuring something out with my foot. There's little things that pop up. And so I think for adults, there's probably more of those little incidents than there are for like 13-year-olds, unfortunately. But I think that there's a different level of gratitude and appreciation for what my body can do at this age. And you have to work harder to get it. But I also think in some ways that makes you appreciate it more when you do. So
yeah, and that's something that I love from all of you, like my students and the one that I don't know, but I know you are out there doing ballet. Like, be grateful for you have the physical ability to do it. You have the time to put on it. You have the desire, the passion. Maybe you're going in-person classes. You have the financial support as well to do it. So be grateful for that. And if you have all those, just go for it. If you don't have all of them, and because you don't have the financial support, but you have the internet, you have the YouTube, just go for it and make your dream come true, because we just don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Do that today and do it. Go for it. And don't let anyone tell you, oh no, you're 35, you're never going to get on point. Well, Hannah's 35, she's on point. Exactly. I remember that you pulled your back because all the strain that ballet was putting on you, and then your hip as well. Like, you just started with something on the hip, and there you are. A year and a half later, the pain is still there, the limitation is still there, but you kind of like get over it, go for it, make the best out of it. Health, with good health, like avoiding some injuries, unnecessary injuries, and definitely go for it. So much fun. So Hannah, there is so many other questions that I want to ask you, but we need to leave it for other podcasts so we can get to talk about everything that we always like want to share.
Yes, I'm so excited for upcoming episodes. I feel like there's so many things running through my brain of things to talk about, and I just hope it's a fun thing for people to feel like understood and part of the community, and we want to answer people's questions. I know we've talked about, I think we mentioned on the last episode, if people have specific topic requests, like we want this to be a very communal
and if
thing,
anyone would like to be in the podcast as well and just like, I have a very interesting experience to share, we're definitely open to everyone. But before we go, I have one last question. So
Okay.
And it's a funny one, I think so, because I'm very funny. So if you had the opportunity to go salsa dancing with a famous ballet dancer or having a cup of coffee, who will that person be and why?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I would love to both have a cup of coffee and go salsa dancing with Marianela Nunez. She's beautiful, and I feel like she's probably a lot of fun. And she's Latina. She's from Argentina, right? So I'm like, she might know how to salsa dance. I don't know. It'd be really fun. But yeah, I just think just radiates the kind of joy that I aspire to dance from.
Oh.
And I always feel like when I watch her, she makes me smile. She looks like she's having the time of her life. Every time I've never got to see her perform in person, but the videos that I've seen, she just always looks like she's having the time of her life and not taking a minute of it for granted. And I think that's just the kind of energy that I try to bring into class and try to bring into my dancing. And, you know, on the days when you're feeling kind of tired and things kind of hurt, it's like remembering the joy of getting to dance. And she's someone that always helps me remember that when I watch her. And so I would love to have coffee with her, talk about her experience as a professional dancer, and then go out salsa dancing. And just
why not? We're already having a coffee together. Why not? Let's keep going to salsa.
Exactly. Get caffeinated and go salsa dance.
I remember you mentioned once that you have this specific video of her that when you feel a little bit down, you play it and then you just get all the energy back. Do you have to share that video with us? So we might leave that link.
I will.
We should leave that link down in the description of this video.
In the description.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I will. In case anyone else wants to watch it. It's just like one that just, I don't know. She just looks like, it's like the embodiment of everything that I think ballet should be about. And so we'll put that in the description. And then if anyone else is having a day that it's hard to get
they can always
their
go
butts to
it.
Class, you can watch that
Definitely,
video.
that would be awesome. Okay, so
yeah.
I think that we got to know you really well today. It's still so many other questions that I want to know about your salsa because, oh my God, I can't wait to be in person with you. Just go salsa dancing with you.
I know, someday. I know, it's funny. I feel like we could mention, because it is kind of funny, Yelena and I have never met in person.
True.
Our entire relationship has been through Zoom, which is so crazy because I honestly feel like you're one of my closest friends at this point, and we've never actually even met in person. So someday it's going to happen, but until then.
So that everyone knows, we are planning this Australian retreat, which is going to come for a week or two. We don't know when it's going to happen, neither where in Australia, but she's coming to meet me.
Yeah.
And
ballet retreat.
If anyone else want to join, we might be able to make it reality. So let me know.
Yes. I'm like adult ballet intensive in Australia 2025, 2020.
Summer in Australia, which is winter in the rest of the world. I mean, it's winter up on the north, like on top of the equator line. So anyone who wants to join, let us know. Let's make it a reality.
It was so fun chatting. And I'll see you on Monday.
Your Monday, my Tuesday. I'm going to see you and chat for a little bit longer again.
Sounds good. Bye.
Thank you for listening to After Class with Ballet for All.
Join the community on YouTube and Instagram or come dance with us, our weekly Zoom classes for adult ballerinas like you.
Links included in the episode description. Special thank you to our sponsors.
See you next time after class. Podcast produced by Mission Bridge Media.